Melody purposefully did the rooms like that because she don't like some of the girls?
No, I think that you did that rooms like that. Because
well,
you don't like the girls
I can tell you. I can tell you that didn't happen.
I'm just fucking with you, baby. I'm just playing. Don't get all that. I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
I got, look. I got real nail on you, baby.
Oh my gosh, the reality TV world has been absolutely rocked to its core with a scandal so juicy, it's making every other drama look like child's play. Carlos King, the mastermind behind Love and Marriage Huntsville, has found himself entangled in what might just be the most explosive controversy of the year. And trust me, this tea isn't just hot, it's absolutely scalding. It all erupted when Melody Shari, and let's be crystal clear about this, she's the undisputed queen of the show, made an announcement about her exit that sent shockwaves through the entire reality TV universe. But darling, what transpired next will have you questioning everything you thought you knew about reality television. For those who haven't been blessed with the knowledge, and honestly, where have you been hiding? Melody wasn't just another pretty face on the show. She was the reason Love and Marriage Huntsville even exists. She and her ex-husband Martel Holt were the original power couple that breathed life into this phenomenon, giving us mere mortals a front row seat to the spectacular world of Black excellence, empire building, and deliciously addictive drama in Huntsville. From the very first episode, Melody carried that show with the grace of a queen and the strength of a warrior, serving us raw, unfiltered honesty, personal struggles that had us reaching for our tissues, and business moves that had everyone frantically taking notes. She wasn't just participating in the narrative, she was the narrative. And when news broke that she was leaving, the fans were absolutely devastated, shocked, and emotionally wrecked. But Carlos, his response had everyone's eyebrows raised so high, they nearly disappeared.
Girls trips. So the thing is this, you've been on plenty of girls trips with your cast. Why are girl trips so complicated? Because there's a whole TikTok discussion, Dr. Heavenly, about this episode and how this episode reflects how girls trips never go right. Why is that?
Because half them hoes really don't like each other. And to me, it's never fair. It's all about who you like and who you don't like. Like, to me, if I like Melody, I'm going to say that she didn't fuck up them rooms on purpose. But if I don't like Melody, I'm like, look, she knew what room she put them in. Because Destiny, she clearly don't like. Because that's Martell's friend. And she put them in. So it's all about who you like and who you don't like, nothing else.
Now let me spill this piping hot tea about these girls' trips because the drama is absolutely overflowing. The TikTok universe is buzzing like a disturbed beehive about Dr. Heavenly and why these trips never seem to go according to plan. Well, let me serve you the unvarnished truth. These ladies have about as much genuine friendship between them as oil has with water. It's all about taking sides in this glamorous battlefield, honey. If you're riding with Team Melody, you'll defend her to your last breath, swearing on everything holy that she didn't deliberately mess with those room assignments. But if you're not in Melody's corner, baby, you'll be the first one pointing fingers, claiming she orchestrated every room placement with the precision of a chess grandmaster, especially when it comes to Destiny. And we all know that's Martell's ally. The reality TV world might be scripted sweeter than a Southern grandmother's tea, but Melody's departure? This was as real as it gets, darling. The reasons behind her exit run deeper than the Grand Canyon, and they're twice as dramatic. You see, Melody wasn't just another face in the Huntsville crowd. She was the foundation, the cornerstone, and quite frankly, the whole entire building. As time went on, our girl was evolving faster than a butterfly in springtime. Her influence was spreading far beyond the city limits of Huntsville like wildfire in a dry forest. She wasn't content with just being a reality TV star anymore. She was transforming into an entire brand. This ambitious queen stepped into the music industry with the confidence of a seasoned performer, releasing tracks that had us all emotionally invested. These weren't just songs she was putting out, they were chapters of her life story, especially detailing the roller coaster of her marriage and her incredible personal transformation. And the fans? They were consuming every bit of it like it was their last meal. Let's pause for a moment and discuss her business ventures because Miss Melody was making money moves that would have Wall Street taking notes. Her skincare line wasn't just successful, it was thriving. Her real estate ventures? They were reaching heights higher than a skyscraper, speaking engagements, baby. She was booked, busy, and blessed. This wasn't just about collecting those reality TV checks anymore. She was constructing an empire that would make Cleopatra jealous. But you know what they say? When you're climbing to the top, there's always someone trying to shake the ladder. Things started getting more tense between Melody and Carlos King than a rubber band about to snap. The fans weren't blind to it either. They could see the shifting dynamics clear as day. It appeared that Carlos wasn't supporting Melody like he used to, and some eagle-eyed viewers noticed he was pushing storylines that painted her in an unflattering light, stirring up more drama than a spoon in hot coffee. Melody finally had to speak her truth about feeling emotionally drained and needing to step away to preserve her peace of mind. And let's be honest, if you've been watching Huntsville, you know that show can get more toxic than a chemical waste dump.
People who are on a path of self-destruction, and that's all they know is self-destruction. It ain't nobody doing it to you. It ain't nobody forcing you nothing. You are self-destructing yourself. Okay? Somebody said toxic leadership, that part.
Now, let me tell you about Carlos King's response because it had everyone's jaws dropping to the floor. Instead of showering Melody with the recognition she so rightfully deserved, this man really tried to act like it was just another day in reality TV land. His interviews and social media presence kept everything so surface-level shallow, you could barely get your toes wet. No heartfelt appreciation, no grand tribute to acknowledge her countless contributions, just some basic cookie-cutter statements that had fans feeling more disappointed than finding out your favorite restaurant is closed. The audacity of this man to suggest that Huntsville would continue sailing smoothly without Melody? It's like saying a cake doesn't need sugar. Absolutely ridiculous. During one particularly memorable interview, and honey, his body language was screaming louder than a car alarm, Carlos gave such a dismissive response that social media erupted like a volcano. The man could barely muster up enough enthusiasm to acknowledge Melody's impact, treating her departure like she was just another replaceable cast member who decided to pursue other opportunities. The internet detectives caught on faster than gossip spreads at a family reunion. Viewers started dissecting every word, every gesture, noticing how his entire demeanor would transform whenever Melody's name entered the conversation. Some were convinced he was secretly doing cartwheels behind closed doors about her departure, while others suspected he was just trying to maintain a poker face for the cameras. But one thing was crystal clear as a summer day. Melody's exit changed the entire landscape of the show, and Carlos King's reaction just added more fuel to an already raging inferno.
To be said, so I'm gonna say it. But when you are in a leadership position or so-called leadership position or executive position, cleanser and mango, it's just certain things that you just supposed to like you don't talk about you don't you don't talk about your people that's putting a check in your pocket. You don't.
Oh child, Carlos had absolutely no idea what hurricane was heading his way. The moment he tried to play it cool, the fans unleashed a fury that would make Mother Nature herself take notes. Social media transformed into a battlefield with number Team Melody and number Boycott Huntsville trending faster than cake disappears at a birthday party. The backlash wasn't just from casual viewers who tune in occasionally. We're talking about die-hard fans who've been invested in this show since before it even hit the airwaves. These loyal supporters saw right through what they perceived as blatant disrespect toward the woman who transformed Huntsville from just another reality show into must-watch television. The comments section across all social media platforms was hotter than Georgia asphalt in July. Every single person with a keyboard was calling out Carlos for dismissing Melody's exit like it was as insignificant as last week's newspaper. Some particularly observant fans even started connecting the dots, exposing how they felt the show had been systematically setting her up to appear as the villain while simultaneously protecting other cast members who were actually stirring up all the drama behind the scenes. And sweet heaven, the more Carlos tried to maintain his unbothered facade, the messier this situation became. One particularly passionate fan hit the nail on the head, writing, "Carlos needs to stop pretending like Melody wasn't the backbone, heart, and soul of this entire show. Without her, it's just empty entertainment." Another viewer didn't hold back either. The audacity of Carlos to act like Melody didn't single-handedly carry Huntsville to success is the kind of disrespect that makes my blood boil. Initially, Carlos seemed to think he could brush off this avalanche of criticism like dandruff from a black suit. His public statements were vaguer than a politician's promises, and instead of addressing the elephant in the room about why Melody really left, he was too preoccupied trying to generate excitement for the upcoming season. Meanwhile, loyal viewers were already threatening to abandon ship faster than passengers on a sinking cruise. When that backlash refused to simmer down like a pot left unattended, Carlos found himself at a crossroads. Would he extend an olive branch and try to smooth things over, or would he stand his ground? Well, honey, let me tell you. This man chose to double down with the confidence of someone who doesn't realize they're walking straight into quicksand. Instead of acknowledging Melody's irreplaceable contributions, he tried to redirect everyone's attention to the remaining cast members like we all had collective amnesia. He really had the unmitigated gall to declare that the show was bigger than any single person and that Huntsville would continue to flourish like a garden in springtime. But the fans weren't buying what he was selling, not even at a discount. Because here's the stone-cold truth. When you have someone as magnetic and influential as Melody, you can't just swap them out like a dead light bulb and expect the room to stay just as bright. And that's precisely where Carlos made his most catastrophic mistake, sugar. He genuinely believed the show could maintain its flavor without its main ingredient. But those ratings started painting a picture clearer than glass. The moment Melody gracefully exited stage left, viewers started dropping off faster than leaves in autumn. While Huntsville had always thrived on drama like bees in a flower garden, everyone suddenly realized that Melody was the glue holding all these dramatic pieces together. Without her presence, it was about as exciting as watching paint dry. If those whispers about plummeting ratings are even half true, then Carlos is already feeling the consequences of his miscalculation. Meanwhile, Melody is out here blooming like a rose garden in full spring. Her business ventures are expanding faster than a hot air balloon. Her music career is hitting notes higher than a church choir, and she's securing opportunities that make her reality TV days look like a mere stepping stone.
I still stand by that. But Melody seemed to be really bothered by the commentary that people have had about this last episode. And I was actually surprised by her reaction because it was just like, because usually people have said so many things about Melody over the years and you don't really see her go off too much. So it's been a while since she's gone off. So she decided to, on multiple TikTok lives as she's packaging orders for her beauty line, she went off a couple of days in a row. First on toxic leadership.
And just when the world thought Carlos might have learned a valuable lesson about humility, he pulled a move that had fans absolutely flabbergasted. After weathering that storm of backlash, any reasonable person would think he'd finally acknowledge Melody's monumental impact and attempt to mend those broken fences, right? Oh, but honey, that's not what happened at all. Instead of addressing the obvious void Melody's departure had created, Carlos doubled down harder than a blackjack player with a perfect hand. He began promoting the remaining cast members like they were the second coming of reality TV royalty. Every interview, every social media post became a carefully orchestrated campaign, pushing this narrative about Huntsville entering some magnificent new era. But Team Melody fans saw through this facade faster than transparent cellophane. They were quick to point out how Carlos barely gave Melody's exit the respect it deserved, yet here he was, singing praises about everyone else like he was conducting an orchestra. Then came those cryptic social media posts. Oh child, the shade was darker than a solar eclipse. He started dropping these mysterious messages about loyalty and embracing change that had everyone analyzing each word like they were studying for a final exam. The timing of these posts, more suspicious than a cat in a room full of broken vases. Every single time Melody would announce a new achievement or business success, suddenly Carlos would materialize with some philosophical message about building something bigger than any individual. Coincidence? The fans weren't buying that story for a single second. Even some cast members got tangled up in this web, dropping loaded comments about true loyalty and moving forward. The whole situation felt more orchestrated than a symphony. Was this all part of some grand strategy to minimize Melody's legacy? To make her departure seem as insignificant as a raindrop in an ocean? But here's what really got people talking. No matter how hard Carlos tried to maintain this unbothered facade, this drama refused to fade away like morning mist. Every single move he made, every statement he released, the fans brought the conversation right back to Melody faster than lightning strikes. And that's when the real questions started emerging. Did Carlos just commit the biggest professional blunder of his career? Because this isn't just about reality TV ratings anymore, sugar. This is about power dynamics, loyalty, and understanding when to give credit where it's so obviously due. Carlos had struck television gold with Love and Marriage Huntsville, but by underestimating Melody's star power, he might have just shaken the very foundation his empire was built upon. If these devoted viewers continue their exodus and those ratings keep tumbling down like dominoes, what's the next chapter in this saga? Will Carlos finally swallow that pride pill and acknowledge Melody's irreplaceable impact? Or will he continue this stubborn stance, hoping the audience will develop collective amnesia? Meanwhile, Melody isn't sitting around waiting for validation like a wallflower at a dance. She's out here making power moves, expanding her empire, and proving with every success that Huntsville was just one chapter in her story. The show, still trying desperately to convince everyone it can thrive without her, but darling, that's looking about as likely as finding a penguin in the Sahara. So now everyone's asking the million-dollar question: did Carlos just make a career-defining mistake that'll haunt him like a ghost? Was all this shade throwing just business strategy? Or did he let his ego write a check his show simply can't cash? I want to hear what y'all think about this scalding hot situation. Was Carlos being calculated in his shade, or was this just another day in the cutthroat world of reality TV business? Drop those thoughts in the comments, because this drama is more twisted than a pretzel. And honey, we're all here for it. This scandal has more layers than a wedding cake in the Deep South. And something tells me we haven't even scratched the surface of what's yet to come. Stay tuned, because this reality TV drama is far from its final episode.